Have you ever wondered where yoga and Buddhism originated? Both have roots in an ancient movement called the Shamina, which began 800 years before the birth of Christ. This movement arose in the wake of agricultural development when people began to form cities. However, without knowledge of sanitation, disease spread rapidly and mortality rates soared. In response, a group of people sought refuge in the wilderness, striving for a more natural and fulfilling life. These strivers, or shaminas, lived in communities known as ashrams and practiced a unique form of exercise and meditation we now recognize as yoga. Interestingly, one of these shamina practitioners was none other than the Buddha himself. Before developing his own methods and understanding of the Noble Truth and the Eightfold Path, the Buddha was a yogi, living and practicing among these early strivers. This shared lineage underscores the deep historical and philosophical connections between yoga and Buddhism. But what happens when a Shamina practitioner steps off the beaten path? It was this very question that led Siddhartha Gautama, who we now know as the Buddha, to diverge from the Shamina movement. He embarked on a deeply personal journey, exploring the boundaries of austerity and seeking a deeper understanding of life's sufferings. His explorations led him to a profound realization, a moment of enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He discovered the Noble Truths, a crystal-clear understanding of life's inherent suffering and the path to its cessation. The Buddha's teachings, encapsulated in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, offered a revolutionary approach to spiritual practice. It was no longer about severe austerity, but about following a middle way, a balanced path between indulgence and self-denial. This unique path laid by the Buddha would later inspire another profound spiritual practice. But that's a story for next time. Stay tuned. Centuries later, a man named Patanjali would build upon the Buddha's teachings. He would formulate an approach to spiritual enlightenment that would later be known as the 8 limbs of yoga. Patanjali's methodology comprised 8 integral steps: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Each step represents a specific practice or discipline, ranging from ethical standards, physical postures, breath control, sensory withdrawal, concentration, meditation, to the ultimate goal, a state of blissful self-realization. Now, let's draw parallels between this and the Buddhist Eightfold Path. The Buddha's path consists of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. It's a guide to ethical conduct, mental development, and wisdom, leading to the cessation of suffering and the attainment of self-awakening. On comparing the two, one can't help but notice the striking resemblance between Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga and the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Both are comprehensive systems aimed at spiritual enlightenment, focusing on ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditation. The interconnection is apparent, suggesting a shared spiritual heritage and wisdom that transcends time and geography. This resemblance is not merely coincidental, as discovered by a Buddhist monk in Texas. These two systems, though developed in different eras and cultural contexts, echo the same profound truth. The path to spiritual enlightenment lies within us, and through disciplined practice, we can awaken to this reality. So, what does this ancient connection mean for yoga and Buddhism today? It's an intriguing question. The discovery by Bhante Rafa, an American Buddhist monk, truly highlights this intertwined relationship. He laid the groundwork by revealing the striking similarities between the Buddhist Eightfold Path and the 8 limbs of yoga. Some might even say it's a case of ancient plagiarism, but let's not get mired in controversy. What's important is that both practices, in essence, aim to overcome suffering and foster a deeper understanding of our existence. They each offer a unique path to self-discovery and enlightenment, and it's fascinating to see how they continue to influence each other even today. In our modern world, yoga is often associated with physical postures or asanas, yet the spiritual and meditative aspects, deeply rooted in Buddhism, are gaining recognition. Similarly, Buddhism is no longer confined to monastic life. Its teachings about mindfulness and the path to enlightenment are making their way into popular culture, including yoga studios. And while they may diverge in certain practices, at their core, both yoga and Buddhism are about seeking balance, inner peace, and a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. They are two sides of the same coin, each complementing and enriching the other. As we trace the roots of these practices, we find that they are not just connected, but are intertwined, each shedding light on the path to overcoming suffering. In conclusion, let's revisit the interconnected journey of yoga and Buddhism. We've journeyed from the Shamana movement, where people sought a natural life to overcome suffering, to the birth of yoga and Buddhism. We've seen the Buddha, a yogi himself, develop the Eightfold Path, later mirrored in Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. Today, as we immerse ourselves in yoga, we are in essence treading the path laid by the Buddha. As we delve deeper into the practice of yoga, we may find ourselves walking the path laid by the Buddha, a testament to the enduring wisdom of these ancient traditions.